Hi everyone, ready for week 2 yoga with me. I'm Maddy. Most of you know me anyway. So today is a little bit different to last week. It's going to be half-hour practice, something a little bit faster that you can fit into the middle of your day. We're going to start with 5 sun salutation A, followed by 3 sun salutation B, with some variations in as well. So a nice fiery practice. So we'll start. We're going to come to our mats. And if you just stand near the top of your mat, we're going to spread your toes wide, place them down again one by one, tuck under with your tailbone, press down for your feet. So you'll notice my hips are stacked directly over my heels. I'm not kind of throwing my weight forwards, which is really common. So just think about your posture as best you can. Lifting up through the chest, shoulders back and down, hands to the sides. We're going to close our eyes and take 5 deep breaths. So when we breathe in, we're focusing on arriving into the present moment. And as we breathe out, we let go of the day that we've had, the day that we've got to have yet. Allow your body to relax as you exhale, but to feel strong and powerful as you inhale. We're going to take one more. Now bring your hands to your heart, bow your head slightly, and just think of a word to summarize your practice today. So choose something that feels empowering or uplifting. Hold this word within you. And then breathing in, we're going to reach our arms straight up. Breathing out, start to fold forwards. Bend your knees to begin with. Allow your body to warm up. You're going to pedal out, wriggle through the backs of the legs, wriggling the hips side to side. Allow the head to hang down completely. Maybe just turning your head left to right. So if you can't touch the ground, you've always got the option to hold onto your elbows instead. And breathing in, press against your shins, lengthen your body forward, squeeze your shoulder blades together. And breathing out, take the hands down. We're stepping back into high plank. You're reaching out for your heels and press away from the ground firmly. Drop the knees, the toes, and the chest. Breathe in, press, lift, squeeze your shoulders together. Really listen to your body, don't push too hard. And then we're rolling back, finding downward facing dog. So walk your feet in half a step closer. You're going to pedal out through the legs again. You're wriggling hips side to side. Breathing in, we're looking forwards in between our hands. We're going to step our feet, so don't worry about how high up they come. Bring your hands back to your legs. We're pressing and lengthening. Breathing out, forward fold. Breathe in, press. We're going to rise all the way up to stand, reaching our arms up overhead. Breathing out, release. Round 1. 5, 4 more to go. Arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Breathe in, lift, lengthen. Exhale, hands down, step it back again, high plank. Drop the knees, the toes, and the chest slowly. Breathe in, press and rise. Breathing out, downward facing dog. Again, pedaling out through the legs, turning your head left to right. Ideally, drishti's in between the thighs, so you shouldn't be keeping the head in line with the arms. It's dropped completely down. And breathe in. We're going to step our feet forward again. Lift and lengthen up. Hands can be on the ground or onto your legs. Exhale, fold. Breathe in, press into your feet. We're rising all the way up, arms up overhead. Breathing out, release. And again, round 3, arms up. Exhale, fold forwards. Breathe and lift. Exhale, hands down, step or challenge yourself. Shift your weight into your hands and jump quietly back. From there, next challenge, come forwards on your toes. Try to lower down halfway. Press to tops of feet and lift, lengthen, looking up. Exhale, downward facing dog. So if that felt too challenging for you, you just stick with the knees, toes, and chest. Breathing in, lengthening forwards. Try the challenge of jumping. So bend your knees, keep gazing to the front, and lightly land your feet. Engage core. Breathe in, lengthen. And breathing out, fold. Breathe in, press into your feet, rising all the way up, taking the arms up. Breathing out, release. Twice more. Arms up. Exhale, fold. Breathe in, lengthen. Exhale, hands down, step or jump back. So you've got that option, coming forwards to lower into chaturanga, pressing forwards, upward facing, or knees, toes, chest. Breathing out, downward facing dog. Try to regulate your breath in downward facing. Looking between the hands. Again, you're stepping or jumping your feet. Press, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Breathe in, press into your feet. We're rising all the way up. Reach your arms up. Exhale, release. Breathing in, lift. Breathing out, fold forwards. Breathe in, lengthen. Exhale, hands down, step or jump. So if you're new to chaturanga and you want to start working towards it, come forwards on the toes so shoulders stack directly over the wrists and lower just a couple of inches, maybe to here. Then take the knees, the toes, and continue all the way to the ground. Breathe in, press and lift. Breathing out, downward facing dog, 4 breaths. Keep pressing down for your fingertips and through the knuckles. We want a really good hand grip. There shouldn't be too much pressure in the wrists at all. If there is, it's just because you're not pressing hard enough through the fingers. And then gazing forwards to the hands. Breathing in, step or silently jump your feet. Straighten up with the legs, lengthen. Breathing out, release. Uttanasana, and take a couple of extra breaths here. So same again as before, perhaps holding onto elbows or the ground, or you can come into the shoulder variation. So drop the head, take hold of opposite shoulder and allow gravity to do its thing. We're going to come into variations. Breathe in. We're going to rise all the way to stand, reaching our arms up overhead. And release. So every time you take your arms up, it just depends on how much headspace you've got. I've clearly got hardly anything in my room. So you can keep the arms apart, or if they're comfortable, press the palms together and draw the upper arms together. We're going to try and think about pulling our arms as far back behind us as we can. So we're really extending into our thoracic spine and keeping the length here. We often tend to be quite tight there, so just keep that in mind. We're going to go again and throw some variations in. So still Surya Namaskar A. Breathe in, reach your arms up overhead, keep extending, pull your arms back. Breathing out, slowly make your way down. Breathe in, press, lift and lengthen. Breathing out, hands down, step or jump back and lower with control. Knees, toes, chest or chaturanga, we're pressing and lifting. And breathing out, find yourself in downward facing dog. When you're here, tuck one foot behind the other ankle. Keep lifting high through the sit bones, bring the chest back to the thigh. And we're taking one more breath. And then switch sides. Come back to neutral. You're looking in between your hands. Challenge yourself to jump, even if you don't normally. So press your hands down. You're going to shift your way into your hands. So think about a lift up rather than forwards. So you could just land maybe a couple of inches ahead. It's absolutely fine. Walk the hands back or continue to walk the feet forwards after you've done your jump. We just want to think about pressing through our hands, lifting up high and landing silently, and that's the trick. That's when the core goes, ah, I've actually got to work here. So we're going to lift, we're lengthening forwards and breathing out, folding, Uttanasana. Press into your feet, breathe in, rise all the way up, bring your arms back, and breathing out. Repeat, arms up, breathing out. Breathe in, lift. Breathing out, hands down, step or jump back, knees, toes, chest, or chaturanga. So knees, toes, chest is a really good one, especially if you start to get tired. Squeeze your shoulders as you lift and lengthen. And breathing out, find downward facing dog. So from here, you're going to extend one foot up nice and high. This time, think about rooting down with the other heel. Now, last week we kept our hips square. This week we're going to open out with our hips, bend our leg, and you're going to try and bring your foot as far behind you as possible. So you're taking sort of a downward dog twist. Now, it doesn't matter which foot is raised, but the one that's extended is now going to step in between the hands. You drop down with the other knee, lift and lengthen, come to fingertips, and I'm going to rise all the way up. Keep pulling your arms back and sink down into the front knee. So keep tucking under with the tailbone as much as you can. And just notice what you can ease and let go of with every out breath. You should be able to come just a tiny little bit deeper every time. Deep breath in. And breathing out, take the hands down. We're going to take a vinyasa. So that's movement with the breath. Knees, toes, chest, gazing forwards. Breathe in, squeeze, lift and lengthen. And breathing out, find yourself back in downward facing dog. So we're going to open up to the other side, making sure you've got good grip through the hands. Extend the other leg high and then drop down with your heel. Same as before, open out with your hip, bend your leg, and try and bring the knee as far back behind you as possible. Now we're going to step that foot through in between the hands, drop down with the knee, untuck your toe, breathe in, we're rising up, and breathing out, sinking down. Keep pulling your arms back behind you. Again, working with the breath. Breathing out, we're going to take our hands down, this time tuck under with the back toe and step forwards, taking your forward fold. Breathe in, press, lift and lengthen. So it might be on your shins, it might be on your thighs, it might be on the ground, and then release. If you need to, you forward fold with the knees bent, absolutely fine. Press into your feet, lift and lengthen forwards, then bend your knees, bring your arms back, we're shifting our weight to our toes. Still lengthen, find your drishti. And breathing out slowly, take your forward fold. Breathe in, lift. Breathing out, hands down, step or jump, and we're landing. Knees, toes, chest, or chaturanga. Breathe in, press and rise. Breathing out, downward facing dog, preparing for Virabhadrasana 1. Turn the right foot to 45 degrees and step forwards with your left. So we want to keep our hips as square as possible. We're not coming into a kind of warrior 2 position. Come to fingertips, lengthen forwards. Aim for a 90-degree bend in your front leg. When ready, press, lift and rise. See if you can get the palms together. If it's too uncomfortable, hands out to the sides or even hands down to the heart. So just think about length and lift. Think about your balance. Keep pressing down through the little toe on the back leg. Now breathe in, straighten. And exhale, sink a little bit deeper. Lifting and sinking down. Taking one more. And from here, take the hands down. Step back into your plank. You're taking your vinyasa. So it might be chaturanga. It might be knees, toes, chest. Breathing out, find yourself again in downward facing dog. Take an extra breath. That was an extra few breaths. Clearly needed that one. So you're going to take your left foot out this time. Step forwards with the right. So again, bring the hips in so that they're square to the mat. We're going to press into our front leg and lift high. Sink into your front knee. Bring your arms up. Either gaze straight ahead, find a drishti, that's a focal point, or look up towards the hands, the ceiling. Try to relax the shoulders down the back as you do this. Breathing in, straighten the front leg. Breathing out, sink a little bit deeper down. Breathe in, lift and down. One more time. And from here, lower all the way down. We're stepping back, vinyasa, knees, toes, chest, or chaturanga. Breathe in, press and lift. Breathing out, find yourself again, downward facing dog. Breathe in, look forwards to your hands, step or jump your feet, lift and lengthen, exhale, release, forward fold. Remember, bent knees can be cool. So from here, drag your fingertips along the mat, sink down as low as you can through your bum. You're lifting your arms up and again, shifting your weight forwards, lift to the balls of the feet. Maintain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hands down to the heart. We're going to lower down. So your hips are now connected to your heels, but we're still lifting up as high as we can through the feet. So try not to drop them like this. Keep them lifting in. So I'm going to show you two things. You have options here. So some of you who come to classes will full well know I like to chuck in an arm balance every now and then. They're not necessarily the easiest thing to do. It's just consistency, lots of practice, and just not being too afraid to fall. Nice thing about practicing at home is you can use a cushion, so I highly recommend taking one down to the ground. I'm going to start with our hands to the heart. We're lifting up tall. Left elbow around the right knee, so it's a closed twist. Press as hard as you can, and you're going to open to the side. Now what tends to happen here is our ankles drop to the side for support. Try to keep them glued in together, pressing into your toes, press through the top hand so you're really getting a good twist and rotation. You can stay here. This one's perfect in terms of prep. If you want to start exploring your pose, you're going to make the knee and the upper arm have more contact. So you really want to shift and get as much movement as possible. Now, there's two ways you can approach this. Those of you with less flexibility in the upper back will be taking the hands to the sides, 45-degree angle away from your feet. That way, you'll just be coming onto it on one arm. Personally, I like to cheat and I take both elbows onto the thighs. So I'm going to go adjacent to my feet, hands will be spread wide, bend the elbows down, and then I'm creating a shelf. So as I lift up onto my toes, I'm going to land my back hip down on top of the back arm. I'm then sending the chest forwards. As I lower my shoulders down, the feet very comfortably lift up. I flex them together, and then I can maintain and stay there. The most common problem that I see when people approach this is that they kind of get to here and then try and kick their feet up, or maybe they get the top one up, but the bottom one's kind of glued to the mat. Two reasons: move your hands further away, and second reason, your shoulders haven't come down to the ground, and it's a fear thing. We obviously don't want to crash down to the mat. However, that's why we use cushions, and also look forwards, and then if you do come down, it'll just be the side of the face, and you can press into your hands and come back up. There's no face planting with the nose. From there, we'll come back to the center after you've had a little play, and we'll go around to the other side. So if you want to ignore this, should have said it on the other side, you're more than welcome just to maintain the twist posture. and work into the flexibility of your feet and strength of your feet too. So again, we're maintaining, and just notice which side is more restricted in terms of upper back mobility. For me, this is my more restrictive side. So now we're going to press against the thigh again, move the arm lower down, hands to the sides, give it a go, either 45 degrees, challenge on one arm, or two hands, lower down, create a shelf, lengthen forwards, slowly lower your shoulders, and your feet can lift. Those of you that catch it, I know there's a couple of you that can start to work towards your extension. So you're going to extend the bottom leg forwards, the top leg will come up, and you'll really reach out through the foot as much as possible. Very, very slowly, bring the legs back together, and then land with as much grace as you can muster. So then take hands to the heart, press, and you're lifting back into your chair, extend, open up through the arms. And breathing out, forward fold. Breathe in, lift and lengthen. Breathing out, hands down, step or jump back and lower down. Knees, toes, chest, or chaturanga. Press, lift and open. Breathing out, downward facing dog. We're going to come into Virabhadrasana again. So turn the right foot out, step forwards with the left. Press, breathe in, rise up. Very slowly, lower down with as much control as possible. Spread the fingers wide, step back, high plank, knees, toes, chest, or chaturanga. Breathe in, press and lift. Breathing out, downward facing dog. Get ready for the other side. Turn the left foot out, the right foot forwards. Breathe in, press and lift. From here again, very slowly down with another variation. So now you're going to walk your hands around to the middle of your mat lengthways. Make sure your feet are parallel or slightly pigeon-toed. We're coming into Prasarita Padottanasana. Breathe in, lengthen forwards. And breathing out, start to drop your head down. So if the hands come down nice and flat and you feel like the head's quite close, begin to walk your hands in line with the feet, bringing the head down. If this feels like hard work, what I want you to do, if you imagine that your body's kind of here in this position, instead it's the tilt of our pelvis that we want to think about. So I want you to try and lift as much as you can upwards with your pelvis and create a flat back shape. That might mean your hands need to come onto something, or you can rest them on the thighs, just don't push down on the knees. So this is an option. This is an option on props. This is an option, or walking the hands down, bringing the head down towards the ground is an option. I'm going to take another couple of breaths. Breathing in, we're going to lift and lengthen forwards. I'll show you this sideways. So if you now press one hand down, again, if you can't touch the ground, you're going to require a block. We're pressing. I'm going to extend open with the other arm. You're gazing up. Imagine that your shoulders are stacked one on top of the other. Slowly exhale, take that hand down and breathe and open out to the other side. Breathing out, take that hand down. Now we're going to take the back of the opposite hand to the lower back. You'll press, you rotate, and that's much more of a stretch for the front of the shoulder. Try and pull your shoulder around as much as possible. Breathing out, take that hand down, and last side. So back at the hand behind you, rotate. Breathing out, take both hands down. We're now going to travel our hands around towards the front of your mat and step back into high plank. Last vinyasa, knees, toes, and chest. Press down through your hands, press down through the pubic bone, the tops of the feet. Extend, draw the shoulder blades together, gazing up if comfortable. And breathing out, our last downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, lift up nice and high through the sit bones. So again, it's that same tilt. So rounded pelvis like this, you're just not going to get very far. We really want to try and bend our knees if we're tight in the hamstrings and lift up through the sit bones before we start to think about straightening our legs. So we're going to come into a seated posture. Two options, either just sit down in your own special way. Second option is to go top of your foot as though you're crossing over and land on top of your other foot before coming to sit down. Those of you with a little bit of a stronger practice, by all means go for a jump. So you're lifting up high, landing tops of feet, and come to sit down. From here, we're just going to take a seated pose, hands down onto our knees, roll our shoulders back and down a few times, and then we're coming forwards and down a few times too. Allow everything to become still. Close your eyes. Regulate your breath. So you should be feeling quite alive and invigorated. That will just really tired after that practice. And we were working with our sympathetic nervous system the entire time. So that's the flight or fight response in the body. And it gives you that rush of adrenaline, feel-good hormones, raises the heart rate, good for fitness. But it can also give you a little bit too much of a boost. So we're just going to bring it back down a little bit, focus on grounding and activating our parasympathetic nervous system as well. So this is the cooling, calming response in the body. So think about your sit bones pressing down towards the ground. Notice the connection between your body and your mat. Lifting up through the heart. We can take one hand to the chest and the other hand to the abdomen. I invite you just to track your breath and try and make it as slow as possible. And then release the hands back down onto the legs, but have the palms facing up. If you want to, you can interlink index finger and thumb. We're going to drop our head over to one side. We're taking a full breath in. And slowly bringing the chin down towards the chest. Breathing in up to the other side. And breathing out down. And just keep going with this pattern in time with your breath. And now interlink your fingers behind your head. You're going to bring the chin right down towards the chest. Still sitting up as tall as you can through the heart. Bring the hands down towards the heart. Keep the head bowed. And return to your word. Observe how that feels now after this short but sweet practice. Hold your word within you as you press the thumb knuckles in between the eyebrows. Take 3 deep breaths. Thanks, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today and for practicing. If you found that too strenuous by any stretch at all, don't worry about it. Yoga is meant to be built up kind of over time, and you can rest at any point. I completely forgot to say that in the video, so I will put it in the description, so hopefully you will see that. But child's pose is vital, and there's no kind of point in constantly modifying yoga to suit your body where it's at. You can just kind of rest when needed, and that's kind of the greatest lesson to learn, is when your body's had enough, when you need to rest, when you need to look after it. And yeah, hope you found that energizing and you can now carry on with your day. And yeah, looking forward to next week. Thanks, everyone. See you soon.